Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. Time to talk about Pointerra's September quarter Appendix 4C. I was a little bit concerned when they did release this financial report because the cash receipts did fall from the previous quarter and I thought the market might overreact. Now, to say I was concerned is exaggerating a little bit because I don't really care about the short-term fluctuations in the share price of Pointerra. In fact, when I show you the chart of Pointerra, I don't really care if the share price has been fallen. In fact, I do have share prices that I am willing to buy more shares. So for full disclosure purposes, I am a shareholder of this company. And if the value of the company or the share price of the company falls to certain levels, I definitely will buy more shares in this company. So we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. I won't mind if that does happen, but I do know when the share price of a company like Pointerra, because it is a fairly popular company among retail investors on the ASX, when the share price does fall, it can cause some angst and concern among shareholders. For other shareholders, they see it as an opportunity to buy more shares. And recently, when the share price got down to 35 cents, we did see a bit of a spike in volume and buying, and I think that was just some shareholders saw opportunity to buy more shares in this company. So let's get stuck into it and look at Pointerra's September quarter Appendix 4C. But before we do that, just a few facts in regards to this company. I call Pointerra a 3D dataset solution technology company. They have a cloud-based solution for managing, visualizing, working in, analyzing, using, and sharing massive 3D data sets. And this company has been gaining traction. We've seen significant growth in the receipts and the revenue for this company over the past few years. Founded in 2015, they listed on the ASX through backdoor listing via Soil Sub Technologies. I actually never heard of that company, even though I was or had been an investor for quite a period at that point in time. So they did backdoor list on the ASX in July 2016. The CEO is Ian Olsen. He has a 7% stake in this company. But Pointerra became fairly well known just over 1 year ago when Bevan Slattery bought a significant stake in the company, and his stake is or amounts to 7.4%. And that was a really good buy because as soon as he bought in, the share price absolutely took off. The market cap of Pointerra at 41 cents, and that's the share price about 3 or 4 days ago from when I'm doing or recording this video on the 4th of November, is $275 million. I just forgot the M there. And the ticker code for Pointerra is 3DP. As soon as I said 3DP, I just realized that is one of the best T codes on the ASX because it suits this company to a T, because 3D is exactly what they do, data sets, and the name starts with P. 3DP is a natural fit, and I've never actually thought about that until I just said it just a second ago. Now let's have a look at the financial year 21 results and compare it to financial year 20, and you'll be able to see, even though some of these financial metrics are quite small, there's a lot of growth at this point in time. Revenue has grown from 1.2 million to 3.98 million. You can say that's almost quadrupled in 1 year. The company is still operational cash flow positive on a yearly basis, but I do believe that's going to turn around in the next few years, and they will become operational cash flow positive, potentially to a large amount, unless management decides to start spending quite a bit of money in the next few years to grow at an even greater rate. And of course, the company is still not profitable, but they're not losing a lot of money, only $2.5 million in 2020 and $1.5 million in 21. They also have $5 million of net cash, which doesn't seem a lot, particularly for a company with a market cap of well over 200 million. And the price to sales ratio is at 68. But if you take a look at the annual contract value, which was $9.8 million at the end of the financial year, that was up 24% from April 29. And that right there is telling me this company is growing at a fairly quick rate. And that annual contract value has continued to climb from the end of financial year 21. You'll be able to see that growth when we look at their September quarter Appendix 4C. Before we have a look at the most recent September quarter results, just want to go back 1 year ago to see how Pointerra was performing in the first quarter of financial year 2021. Receipts to customers at $609,000. They don't spend a lot of money, this company, on staff costs, administration, even research and development. Definitely not a lot of money on product manufacturing and operating costs. Because they don't spend a lot of money, it won't take a lot for this company to be operational cash flow positive. You can see, even though receipts for customers was only $609,000, they were only operational cash flow negative by $333,000. They did a capital raising during this quarter, which meant the cash on hand rose from 2.3 million to 4.8 million. Now let's have a look at the most recent Appendix 4C just to see how this company has grown over the past year. Although receipts from customers have grown by over $300,000, the company is actually even more operational cash flow negative for this quarter because they have increased some of the costs. In particular, staff costs have increased from $300,000 to $1.15 million. A lot of the other costs haven't increased by all that much, but it's just the staff costs. So there is potential. They've increased more, employed more salespeople, that sort of thing. Cash on hand has decreased from 5.2 million to 4.3 million, but I do have an opinion that cash receipts of only 983,000 will substantially increase over the next 3 quarters. And the reason I'm saying that is just based off the annual contract value. So let's have a look at that right now. I'm so glad that Pointerra included this nice little chart in their Appendix 4C, just so we can see how annual contract value has grown over the past 2.5 years or 3 years, 2 years. If we go back 2 years ago to the first quarter financial year 20, they only had $1.66 million of annual contract value. That then increased to 4.93 million in the first quarter financial year 21. Now it's increased to 11.7 million. And the way I look at this is if you go back 1 year ago, the annual contract value was 4.93 million. That means we can expect receipts to be around 1 to 1.2 million, and that's exactly what we had this quarter. So that means with an annual contract value of 11.7 million, just divide that by 4. So you get a number roughly about 2.5 to about 3 million. And I do think that's the sort of numbers in regards to cash receipts we can expect in about 1 year's time. Doesn't mean we'll see that, but because annual contract value is increasing, we will see cash receipts increase with that over the next year. So do expect cash receipts to increase by quite a bit over the next 3 quarters. And I do think one of the reasons why the share price didn't decrease on the back of these results, even though cash receipts actually fell from the previous quarter, in the last quarter of the last financial year, Pointerra was operational cash flow positive. And the reason why the share price didn't decrease was simply because of this table. And the annual contract value did increase by almost $2 million from the previous quarter to this quarter. And if we continue to see that growth, and more than likely we will see significant cash receipts or cash coming into this business. And if they don't really increase their costs all that much, there's no reason why Pointerra can't be highly operational cash flow positive. As we look at the receipts history for Pointerra from the December quarter 2017, the main thing you can see here is their cash receipts have been increasing through time. That's the main thing I am looking for in companies that are or do release Appendix 4Cs. I want to see receipts growing through time. There is a bit of lumpiness here, but you would and should expect that for companies like Pointerra. So I was a little bit concerned that receipts did fall from $1.5 million to $983,000 in the last quarter. I thought the market might misread that and totally ignore the increase in annual contract value. And more than likely, because we have seen that dip in cash receipts for this quarter, we'll see significant rise in cash receipts either the next quarter, which is the December quarter, or the March quarter of next year. Or maybe we'll see significant rise in cash receipts for both of those quarters. I do expect Pointerra to be operational cash flow positive on an ongoing basis from here on in, unless management decide to spend a lot more money to increase the growth of this company. That's definitely a possibility for management teams or for teams, for companies who have, for companies like this anyway. On to looking at one of the charts for Pointerra. Sometimes I will provide a weekly chart and a daily chart, but I'm just going to look at the daily chart over the past year, which does include when the share price reached its high back in February of this year, and the share price high for Pointerra was around 92 cents. But the share price has struggled from that high. In fact, it has fallen by more than 50%. So it's fallen from 92 cents to a current share price of 41 cents. When we did see the share price low, or the most recent low, which was 35 cents, towards the end of August, there was a nice big down day on high volume. That seemed to be the low, sort of capitulation, if you will. The share price went sideways, and there was some good news in September, which drove the share price higher from about 37 cents to 55 cents. And the share price has struggled over the past few months, and we just see the share price just going down very gradually. And I do, as I mentioned before, I do have share prices where I am willing to buy more shares. If we do see the share price fall, say to 25 cents, 20 cents, I'll definitely be buying more shares in this company. More than likely, I'd say at this point in time, I won't get there, because last time we saw the share price get to 35 cents, there was a bit of heightened interest in this company. A little bit more buying came in on those few days after we saw that capitulation day. So more than likely, I think 35 cents is the floor in the share price. And I am thinking if the share price gets back there, that's a good position to take some or buy some more shares in this company. That's all I have for this September quarter Appendix 4C video for Pointerra. I'm still fairly bullish about this company simply because of that increase in annual contract value. It's going exactly to the plan I had for this company, and more than likely management had for this company, hopefully anyway. And I am fairly bullish that this company will become operational cash flow positive on a quarter-to-quarter basis. And if they get there, I do think that could be a significant inflection point for this company, and we will see the share price re-rate on the back of that. If you do have any questions, any thoughts or opinions about this company or any other company on the ASX, I'd love to hear it, so leave it in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.